Picture this. You're sitting in a theater, the lights dim, then the screen flickers. Like all theaters, you experience stories of love, of grief, of triumph, of adventure. But never, or rarely, do you see a face that looks like mine. Born in the Philippines, but raised here in the US, Filipino American is what you would say I am. For millions of us, this isn't just imagination, it is a reality we live through. Despite being the third largest Asian American group here in the United States, which is about 4.5 million people according to the Pew Research Center, Filipinos remain almost invisible in film, television, and mainstream media. And that invisibility can be seen. It's disappointing, it's damaging, and it is detrimental. When our stories are erased, stereotypes rush in to fill the silence. It then leads to silence us, silencing our voices to exist in those industries. Hollywood has a long history of prioritizing whiteness, treating white stories as universal while labeling others as niche. And even within Asian American representation, Filipinos are often overlooked. A 2021 study by the USC Annenberg's Inclusion Initiative found out that of 1,300 top grossing films from 2007 to 2019, only 44 featured a speaking Filipino character. That's less than 0.5%. When Filipinos do appear, we have a fixed stereotype: nurse, caregiver, comic relief, supporting actor if we're being honest here. Think of Scrubs or ER, where Filipino nurses appear in the background but never as central characters. A population that makes up nearly 20% of the US nursing workforce is reduced to nameless roles. And behind the camera, the situation is worse. A UCLA Hollywood diversity report found that less than 1% of credited writers and directors in top films were Filipino or Pacific Islander. Without Filipino voices in the writer's room, our stories are either ignored, flattened into cliches, and more often, our stories are told for us. But silence isn't permanent. We can change this. The cure is greater visibility both on and off screen, and there is progress. Organizations like CAPE, known as Coalitions of Asian Pacifics in Entertainment, and Gold House have launched fellowships that have supported Filipino creators like Hanel Culpepper, the first woman of color to direct a Star Trek pilot, and Jokoy, whose film Easter Sunday in 2022 was the first major studio comedy centered on a Filipino-American family. That's historic, but it should not be rare. If efforts like these expand, imagine what's possible. Filipino leads in mainstream TV dramas, Filipino directors winning Oscars, Filipino history being taught alongside other Asian American struggles. Representation wouldn't be a dream, it would become our reality. But I'm not going to leave you here feeling hopeless. There are some things that you can do. You can first start off by supporting campaigns demanding representation. For instance, the #GoldOpen movement has shown that Asian-led films like Crazy Rich Asians and Everything Everywhere All at Once can dominate the box offices when audiences mobilize. Second, you can support Filipino creators directly. Stream Easter Sunday or the Filipino-produced series Lingua Franca by Isabel Sandoval on Netflix. Every click tells Hollywood that there is an audience and that there are people resonating with the work that is being put out. And third, you can advocate for Filipino and Asian American studies in schools. When young people see their histories in books, they grow up expecting to see themselves on screen. Representation isn't just on screen, it is heavily influenced by the educational system. This system holds the power to properly teach students of color and to help them feel seen. And lastly, be mindful of what you consume. Every choice you make, every ticket you purchase, every stream that you sit through and watch is a vote of the kind of media landscape we want to see. All of these actions are inexcusably attainable. It's something that we can all do. Representation is more than visibility. It is a sense of belonging. It's the chance to look at the screen and finally see yourself released from stereotypes and simply just being. Right now, Filipino Americans are missing from the stories that we tell, but together we can change that by demanding representation, by supporting Filipino creators, by teaching and uplifting Filipino stories. We don't just fill a gap, we expand what's possible. So the next time the theater lights dim and the screen lights flicker, let's make sure the stories we see is one where all of us are visible, valued, and represented. Let's make sure that you see me.